What's up, Bills Mafia? Today we're going to be talking about the best Bills players age 25 and under. Man, I feel old. Anyways, before we get to that, let's get to that intro.
This is VZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell because I always forget to tell you. Anyways, guys, today I want to talk about the best Bills players under the age of 25 and under for the Buffalo Bills. Bills, by the way, shout out to Bills Wire for providing the article. This is actually NFL.com brought out a list of the best players 25 and under in the NFL, and Bills Wire did their own list of the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this on the screen for you guys here. And as you see right here, who are the Bills' best players under 25? All right, so it says a bit of a reality check has come the Buffalo Bills' way. The Bills are not considered one of the eldest statements in the NFL. But the truth of the matter is that the Buffalo team is no longer an up-and-comer. They've already arrived. NFL.com highlighted this in their list of the league's best players aged 25 and under. The likes of quarterback Josh Allen, cornerback Trey Davis-White, and others featured on such rankings in the past. Now 27 and 28, respectively, those players have aged out of the group. But of the players in Buffalo that fall under that umbrella, who are the best on the roster? Here are the Bills' three best players aged 25 and under. And we're going to start with defensive tackle Ed Oliver. He's 25 years old. Oliver is fresh off the signing his first contract extension. The Bills locked him up for a good reason. Very true. While Oliver hasn't produced more than 5 sacks in a single season yet, he still does a lot well. According to Next Gen Stats, Oliver gets opposing quarterbacks off their spot in that department. Oliver is up there with the likes of some very notable players such as Aaron Donald and Chris Jones. Oliver's quarterback pressure rate since 2020 is 11.6. That's the 4th highest rate of any defensive tackle in the NFL. If a few more of those are turned into sacks, Oliver's extension is going to be a steal. I agree. Listen, man, Ed Oliver, I know a lot of Bills Mafia is a little rough on him at times, for his production on the field. But let me tell you, man, look at the stats. He puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. He's 4th, as you can see, with pressure rate. And, guys, you got to give it up to him, man. He does a lot more than just getting to the quarterback. He also helps with run defense. He gets doubled a lot. And he's still very young. As you see, he's 25 years old. So I love that Brandon Beane wound up locking him up. At first, I was like, I don't know. But when you look at the deal is actually pretty good. So I understand why he locked him up now. And you got a good young player who's still getting better. So, yeah, I agree with that, Ed Oliver, on this list. No doubt about it. All right, next one on the list. Tight end, Dalton Concade. I am surprised that they're putting a rookie on so fast, considering he hasn't even played a game yet. But I understand the optimism when it surrounds Dalton Concade. So, he's 23 years old. We get it. Concade has 0 career catches in the NFL, what I just said. But the Bills used a first-round pick on him for a reason. Kincaid's pass-catching talent is rare, even for players already in the NFL. That makes him potentially a huge playmaker and probably the most likely prospect in Buffalo to appear on such a list next off-season. So, let's talk about Dalton Concade real quick, guys. So, Dalton Concade, man. Dalton Concade is that dude. Listen, the Bills picked him up for a reason, and listen, the facts is the facts. They needed help for Josh Allen. They needed an extra security blanket for Josh Allen. Matter of fact, they just needed a security blanket for Josh Allen because he didn't have one last season. Once Cole Beasley left Buffalo or retired or whatever he did, that was a wrap for that security blanket that Josh always had when he had Cole Beasley here in 2019 all the way up to 2021, right? Once Cole Beasley left, then obviously we were hoping that Crowder and McKenzie would be that guy. And unfortunately, Crowder got hurt, so we never really got to see if Crowder could have been that guy. And then Isaiah McKenzie had an opportunity to step up and be that guy. Now, I want to say this. Isaiah McKenzie wasn't a bad player for us. But he's more of a gadget receiver. And he just wasn't that guy that, Josh could rely on like a Cole Beasley, right? And Dalton Concade can be that guy. And I expect him to be that guy. And we drafted him not really so much as a tight end, but more of a playmaker, more of a hybrid receiver / tight end. I believe this guy's going to be in the slot a lot. He's just going to, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, he is going to be a problem for defenses years to come. Now, his first year is tricky because usually rookie tight ends don't necessarily start off, in the NFL hot, right? It's usually their second years when they start to pop off, right? But Dalton Concade, he's rare because he's not really so much a traditional tight end, right? Like I told you before, he's more of a hybrid type of receiver / tight end. And I'm very interested to see how Ken Dorsey uses him year one. And I'm also curious how Josh Allen and him build a chemistry, how fast they build that chemistry going into the regular season. Because usually Josh Allen, it takes him a little bit to build chemistry with a player. Now, Stephon Diggs, they built that chemistry year one. Right away, 2020, it was, and that doesn't always happen, guys, right? Even if you are a stud receiver, good quarterback, sometimes you're not on the same page right away, right? And with him and Diggs, it just seemed like they've been playing together a long time. So that worked out, but it doesn't always work that way. And Dalton Concade is a rookie. He's going to make rookie mistakes, right? So let's just see, training camp's going to be interesting. Preseason's going to be interesting. Let's see how Dalton Concade can adapt to the NFL if the game is too fast for him, right? Because usually that's what they say in the beginning. Rookies have a tough time in the beginning because the game's kind of real fast. You're dealing with NFL elite players now. Like James Cook last year, I kind of felt like the game was a little bit too fast, and it slowed down for him about mid-season. And that's where you saw James Cook starting to rise and get better, right? And his ability and his play. So that is interesting that they put him on those lists, but I understand why. So let's go to the next player on this list. And the next player is edge rusher Gregory Russo from the U. Age 23. A bit quietly, Russo has produced. Last season he doubled his sack totals from his rookie year, notching 8. PFF sees it too. PFF named the 32 best pass rushers in their mind heading into the 2023 season. Russo clocked in at 29th overall. Don't sleep on Russo, despite the Bills signing Leonard Floyd. Yeah, man, listen. Even if Gregory Russo was not from the U, I would still love this guy, man. Young, raw, has a very high ceiling. I said it since day one, since the Bills drafted him. I was all for Gregory Russo entering that draft. I just saw the talent, the raw talent, man. The ability. This guy has such a high ceiling, guys. I'll say it again. If you go back and look at his history, when he went to the U, I believe he was actually a tight end when he first got there. He was more of a basketball player. They converted to tight end. He wanted to go as tight end, and then I think they put him to edge right away entering the season, and he had 15 and a half sacks his rookie year. Very impressive. Then he sat out the following year due to, the C word, and I say that because YouTube will demonetize me. So, anyways, guys, his mom worked in the hospital, so I totally understand why he did that. So really, he only had 1 year under his belt in college, at a position he was just really kind of unfamiliar with, learning on the job, as you could say. And then the Bills took the roll of the dice, saw the potential, drafted him, and you could already see the improvement, right? 2 years in, man, the dude, 8 sacks last year. That is a good year, guys. You can see he's still getting bigger. He's getting stronger. He's getting faster. He's learning from Von Miller. Like, you guys should be really excited for Gregory Russo's future here, with the Buffalo Bills, because I'm going to tell you right now, man, this is a 10-sack guy, 10-plus sack guy for sure. And I just love what he brings to the table. I love his attitude. Good dude. And I love that he's on the Buffalo Bills, honestly. So let's get to the next guy, and that is nobody. So that was a 3. Okay. So I do want to add, I want to go to the Buffalo Bills roster real quick, and I do want to put some guys in there, just a few. So let me go ahead and share that with you guys real quick on guys that I think, there's a few, because if they're going to put Dalton Concade on this list, guys, then yeah, you got to put a few players. So here we go. So 25. I don't know if you guys can see it. If not, it is what it is. So, you got Gilliam, McGovern, Hardy, Spencer Brown, Van DeMark, Tommy Doyle, Davidson, Patman, Couture, can't pronounce that guy's name, Garage, he probably won't make the team, Jarvis, Quentin Morris. Now here we go. Gabe Davis, 24 years old. Why is he not on this list? And listen, I get it, man. Bills Mafia. Y'all rough on my man Gabe Davis at times, but let's be real here. 4th round pick in 2020, his rookie year, he had 599 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's not bad, guys. 2021, and by the way, he was a third option that year, right? 2021, once again, our third option. He had 549 yards, 6 touchdowns. 2022, when he finally got an opportunity to be the number 2, a little bit of a rough year, but I still don't think it was as bad as Bills Mafia wants it, to seem like. He had 836 yards and 7 touchdowns. I mean, also you got to take the fact that the dude was hurt, right? Got hurt, ankle hurt. And I also want to point this out real too when it comes to Gabe Davis. 16 games played in 2020. 16 games played in 2021. By the way, he only missed 1 game because we didn't play week 17, right? And 2022, 15 games. He only missed 1 game due to his ankle, and then obviously the Bengals game didn't play. So 15 games played in 2022. So he's been, for the most part, he's been reliable. He's been healthy. Last year, yes, he did have that ankle injury, but he played through it. And, he didn't have to. He probably could have, to be honest with you, he should have sat out a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, maybe even a month. Because high ankle sprains are tricky, man, guys. Really tricky and, painful. So the fact that this dude, knew that the Bills needed him on offense, he played through pain, man. And I once again, I don't think Bills Mafia really understands that. They just want stats, man. Give me that, 1,000 yards, and I will say this too. Gabe Davis is partially responsible too. A lot of drop passes, that's he has to clean that up. You got to do what you got to do. You got to work on the jug machine, whatever you got to do to get better this season, to prove you're a number 2 in this league, which I believe he is. He has to do it, right? And this is a contract year for Gabe Davis. He's going to try to get, listen, you're going to see the best of Gabe Davis this year, in my opinion. I have a feeling that dude's going to go over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. And we'll see if Buffalo extends him. I don't think they will, but you never know. It's going to be interesting, very interesting. But he's for sure on that list for me. I don't see why he wouldn't be. I'll be dead honest with you. All right, so let's see who else is on this list. So, Thompson, Jalen Wayne, which you guys know, that's Reggie Wayne's, I believe, nephew. Mims, Shavers, James Cook. I'm going to put James Cook on this list as well. He's 23 years old. To me, he got better as the season went on last year. And he's going in 2023 as RB1 right now. Now, could Damian Harris take that spot from him? He could, but I don't think he will. I think James Cook will be the RB1 going into 2023. And I think you're going to see a really good James Cook this year. I do, man, if he's given the opportunity. Now, if Buffalo does what they did to Devin Singletary, limit him under 200 carries, then you're going to probably see Devin Singletary type numbers, which isn't terrible. Devin Singletary had 849, I believe, last year. But if you can give James Cook a little over 200 carries, he's a 1,000-yard back, in my opinion. So I just I love what I saw from him last season towards the middle of the season on. I thought he was more patient with his blocks. He waited for his blocks. I thought he hit the right holes. Him and Josh started getting on a better connection, because in the beginning I kind of felt like he was just not on the right connection, right? You go one way and Josh would throw the other way. Now, I will say he needs to improve on pass blocking. It was a little bad last year. And I don't know if it's because he's not a very big guy. But I think he does need to put on a little weight as well. But I'm excited to see year 2 James Cook. So I'm going to put him on this list, because if you're putting Dalton Concade, who hasn't stepped on the field yet, you got to put James Cook, who has, and has actually shown potential to be a good running back in this league. So let's get back to this list here. So James Cook, I'm putting on the list now. You got Anderson, you got Dalton Concade, which they mentioned, and you got Osiris Torrance, who is my guy, the guy that I said the Bills should have drafted in the first round, and luckily he fell to the second round. We were able to scoop him up. Osiris Torrance, man, I'm going to tell y'all right now, y'all are going to wind up loving this dude, man. He is an absolute beast, man. You guys, listen, if you haven't watched him at Florida, if you haven't watched film on him, I'm telling you, go watch film. You type him up on YouTube. You will see what I'm talking about. This dude is a dog. When he gets his hands on you, you ain't going anywhere. Did not allow a sack in his college career. He is more of a run blocker, and mind you, didn't allow a sack. That's wild. Listen, man, I just think this was the best pick in the draft for me, and I love the Concade pick, no doubt. I think Kincaid's going to be a star. But what we needed the most was protection for Josh Allen and run blocking. And we got that in Osiris Torrance. And we got a possible future Pro Bowler, All-Pro guard. I'm going to tell you guys that again. Watch for him, because he is going to be a beast, man. And that's one thing we have lacked, is a physical dominating guard, right? We just have been playing these musical chairs, and we finally got a guy that's going to be here a while, that's going to be, like I said, probably a Pro Bowler, an All-Pro guard, man. And I'm excited to see him this season. And I know a lot of people think Ryan Bates is going to wind up being the starter to start the season, because McDermott doesn't necessarily like starting rookies right away, but that's not always true. He has started rookies year 1, right? He started Christian Benford over Kyer Elam, and he was a rookie. It wasn't like Christian Benford was here already and he started him over Kyer, right? And Benford was, what, a 6th-round pick, right? He started Tremaine Edmonds right away and he was calling the plays. Year 1, rookie year. So Tre'Davious White, there's guys that he started right away, okay? So I don't want to hear that, he just doesn't play rookies. He does. You got to earn it. But listen, man, you're going to see that in training camp. You're going to see that in preseason. And you're going to hear that from the Buffalo Bills defenders, when they're asked about how he's doing in camp. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that dude is going to give problems to our defense, and they're going to hate playing against this dude. And again, they're going to love to be finally playing somebody else in preseason. Trust me. All right, so let's get to the next guy on this list, and there's one more that I see here, and that's Cleo Shakir. Cleo Shakir, 23. Man, love Cleo Shakir. I think, man, that dude coming out last year, I was excited when we drafted him. I thought this dude was so just mature for his age. I felt like he's been in the NFL already for like 3 years, the way he talked to the media, the way he conducted himself on the field and off the field. Good dude, willing to learn. He's actually been practicing with Eric Moulds, my favorite Bills receiver of all time, but really my favorite Bills player of all time, Eric Moulds. So I expect him to get even better, learning from one of the greatest to ever play in Buffalo. And, what he did last year when he had his opportunities, he showed out, right? His yards after catch was impressive. His hands, he caught tough catches. There's some things he needs to learn a little bit better, blocking. But other than that, I thought his route running was pretty solid. I thought his hands were pretty good. Yards after catch was really good. And, the moment wasn't too big for Khalil Shakir. He came through with some big games, man. Big catches in big games. So, he should be on this list as well. So that's the list that they gave, and I had a couple people that I wanted to add on. I didn't see anybody else there. Spencer Brown is a coin flip for me because he hasn't really shown it yet. But I will say I think Spencer Brown could be a really, really good right tackle in this league. But this is it for me. If he doesn't show it this year, having a whole offseason healthy, having a whole training camp, working with Cromer, preseason, if he's still struggling next year and we have to put in Shell, then obviously, he is who he is, right? But I have a feeling you're going to see the best Spencer Brown this season. You're going to see why Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott is so high on him, and still giving him the opportunity to be starting right tackle, right? So, he would be my honorable mention, right? So we'll see what he does this year. I'm very curious now that he has the time to work with Cromer and better develop his skills, right? So anyways, guys, if there's anybody I missed or anybody you want to mention on the list, go ahead and comment below. Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace. Oh, see you tomorrow.